Event 3 on day 1 of the Nordic programme at the 2022 Beijing Winter Paralympic Games is the women's standing sprint event. Another fascinating para-biathlon contest on the way at the Zhangjiakou facility here, the best part of 200 kilometres northwest of Beijing, up in the mountains on a crisp sunny day as we move into the second of the 3 athlete categorisations, the standing athletes, for competitors with either hand impairments who ski without ski poles or who have leg problems, meaning they race with prostheses or problems bending the knee, thus racing with the aid of ski poles. So we're going to kick off first here with the women's race, followed by the men's. It's already been a terrific day of racing up in the mountains. Beautiful conditions. Okay, it's a little bit windy, but so bright here. Clear, open skies. We look at the weather conditions: -8 air temperature, -11 snow temperature, hard-packed snow as well up in the hills here.
Those conditions very important. It dictates what the wax technicians might be applying to the skis. It's the women's sprint, and we've got 16 starters from 6 nations. It is windy here because there are wind turbines on top of some of the hills nearby. Might get a view of those at some point, but a strong contingent from both Ukraine and China make up more than half the field here. 5 for Ukraine, 4 for China. Dani Arovich of the United States there, the sole competitor there. 1 also from Poland. And Yulia Batankova-Bauman, a really experienced Ukrainian who may feature here. The factor on the right there tells you how much percentage of their actual time is their given time. And you can see the flags are pretty busy here. It's going to make it difficult for them in the range. We've already seen that today. Can be a challenge. They get an opportunity to test their rifles, test the conditions, but in race time, well, the wind can shift and your heart is pounding. The folks here are pretty well rugged up today.
Yep, indeed, and we expect Ukraine to be strong here. 1, 2, 3 and 4 at the recent World Championships in Lillehammer in this event, the sprint event. In the standing class for the women, they had 4 of the top 5 as well. In Lillehammer, it was Konarova from Lyashenko, from Batankova, Bauman, the 1, 2 and 3 at the recent World Champs. We know that there are no Russian or Belarusian athletes in this event, so Ukraine have a wide open field ahead of them to hoover up some medals. Already here in the mountains of Zhangjiakou, it's been a fantastic day for the host nation, China, and they have competitors here with Li and Wang and Zhao and Gu Yuji at 17 years of age, the youngest in the field, one of the youngest athletes actually across all the disciplines here at the Winter Paralympic Games for China. But it's Ukraine here who expect to get amongst the medals, and plenty of them as well.
Yeah, Lyudmila Lyashenko, bronze medalist in 2018 behind 2 athletes from the Russian Paralympic Committee, but she won't have to deal with those athletes today, but a very strong improvement. In fact, China had no athletes in the field in this event 4 years ago. But not only will they lead them out with their first competitor, but they've got good contenders here, it would seem. They've been making use of this great facility, and we're just a few seconds away from a start.
26-year-old Li Huiling gets us underway then in the women's sprint standing event. Day 1 of the para-biathlon here is all about the sprint queens and kings. This is the standing category, and we've got the men's race to come later, over 6 kilometres. This is the women racing 3 loops of the 2-kilometre track.
Abe Eureka, 26 years of age, had a couple of top 10 placings in biathlon in Pyeongchang. It's her third Paralympic Winter Games. And she's had top 10s as well in cross country. And as we've mentioned, and will continue to do so because you'll continue to see them. A lot of them race in both cross country and biathlon. And they've got a good rhythm going.
Well, 2 of the 4 Chinese racers in this event are teenagers. This is one of them, Wang Ruo, just 18. Big deal for her. It was her big ambition to make the team here and get racing at Beijing 2022, and she's in the field.
Takajima Momoko, 47 years young, from Niigata, her 5th Paralympic Winter Games. Plenty of top 10s in both biathlon and cross country. No medals yet, but hope springs eternal. 3 medals at the World Championships, though.
So 2 Chinese, 2 Japanese away. Next, from the United States, this is Danny Adovich from Boise, Idaho. First world champs was in Lillehammer just 8 weeks ago. 10th in this event, the sprint event, to 8th place finishes in the middle distance, and the individual best result was in the mixed 4x2.5 relay, where the United States quartet was 4th.
Zhao Shiqing, 24-year-old from this area, Zhangjiakou. Starts off diagonally to the race course and then sets off with a great rhythm. So she's found her true value through sport. Nice rhythm too.
Next to go, Guo Yuji. They think of her as something of a trailblazer, the 17-year-old. Next out of the start gate for China. She won 3 gold medals and 3 silvers at China's 11th National Para Games last year in 2021, and carried the flag into the Olympic Stadium at the opening ceremony of these Winter Paras.
So we'll check their progress around the course. We've got numerous checkpoints, both close to the range and a kilometre out.
Yeah, so that's Li Huiling making good haste. She was first away, followed by Abe and then Wang. So it's an opportunity to put clear, open snow in between yourself and the rest of the field at the start of this race. Bib 52, that's Abe Yurika of Japan with Dekajima. Trying to close in with Wang Ruo, who was 3rd off the start as well. We've seen a few more start. Connor Shook, Yvette Fad on the pole, and Emily Young from Canada.
So there's that checkpoint just showing you that Abe is 17 seconds down on the time of Lee at that point.
So Emily Young next to go. 3 Canadians in this race. Natalie Wilkie to come, Brittany Hudak, but first it's the 31-year-old Young from Kelowna, British Columbia. Great experience. She was there in Pyeongchang. Pair of 7th place finishes in the sprint and the individual, but got on the podium in Pyeongchang in cross country in the mixed 4x2.5 relay. And there was a bronze in the 7.5 classic standing as well.
And next to go is Hudak. Brittany Hudak of Canada. So I got such great access to wonderful facilities throughout Canada. You think of the athletes from British Columbia or Alberta. British Columbia, where Vancouver is situated.
Now, still to come, the big guns from Ukraine, Alexandra Kononova, 44 Winter Paralympic or World Championship medals, an extraordinary palmares, 22 of them gold. She's the world champion. She led home the quartet that finished in the first 4 places just 8 weeks ago in Lillehammer.
Well, Natalie Wilkie, something of a star in Canada. Gold, silver and bronze medals in cross-country in Pyeongchang as just a 17-year-old. And a little stronger, a little bit more mature and more experienced. I wonder what she can do across these games. Beijing, Zhangjiakou.
Well, can Canada get amongst the Ukrainians and really shake up the front of the field? This is Yulia Batinkova-Baumann getting her campaign in her 5th games underway. 6 world champs medals, 2 golds, 2 silvers, 2 bronzes. Again, extraordinary a roll call, heaving trophy cabinet going all the way back to Vancouver in 2010. Multiple medals in cross-country and biathlon.
Irina Bui, 26-year-old from Vinnytsia in Ukraine. 3rd Paralympic Winter Games for her. A couple of 4th placings in biathlon in Pyeongchang. She should just like to change that slightly and get amongst the top 3. And has the credentials to do it. Gold medalist at World Championships.
And talking of the world champs, it was a silver for Lyashenko behind Kononova, ahead of Batinkova-Baumann in Lillehammer. Pyeongchang, bronze medalist in the sprint event. This is her 3rd Winter Paralympics. Well, we love to talk about narratives, don't we, and construct little stories around these events. It's just Ukraine, can they sweep the medals? They did so in the World Champs. Bigger test entirely here at the Winter Paralympic Games. Can they carry that form on? And as well as the top 3, it was Bui finishing in 4th place as well. So it's a big ask for the likes of Natalie Wilkie. But maybe this fresh mountain air that's been so inspiring the Chinese, the local athletes on this first morning of the para-biathlon, can that carry them into medal positions in this race? This is the women's sprint standing event at Beijing 2022.
Starting to come into the range, and 56 there, Zhao. First of a couple of shoots. They've got 3 2-kilometre laps to do, punctuated by these 2 visits to the range. Arovic, 55, 57 coming in also. Guo Yuji.
Yeah, Wang Ruo shot clear. Li Huiling with 1 miss, so that's a penalty loop for her. And this is the challenge, just lowering the heart rate to get into the prone position and find that composure needed to get on target with the rifle.
Just took a little longer over that last shot, but it was accurate. Nevertheless, 100 metres extra to ski there, unfortunately for Zhao. Athletes with a limb deficiency are obviously allowed to use that rest to support the rifle. Konashuk. It's a risk-reward equation for how long they take to settle over the target. Take a lot longer than 3 seconds to ski 100 metres, so in a little extra time spent over an accurate shot is time well spent.
Yeah, that's a penalty loop for Konashuk then. And Iveta Faron coming in. So bib 58, Connor Shook exits the first shooting stage. And Faron clear so far. Excellent, good, clean sweep in the first visit to the range for the Pole, Iveta Faron.
15th in 2018. It's interesting, 9 competitors are back from the field of 4 years ago.
Lyashenko.
Young of Canada now. Oh, good job. Sets it up nicely for the second lap. Plenty of confidence around the course. Hudak. Canadian shooting back-to-back. They set out one after the other as well, 30 seconds apart. Hudak's got a miss, though.
Yeah, 4 from 5. That's a shame.
You see here what a great job the assistants and course officials do to prepare each lane for what's needed for that particular athlete. The rifle, the rest. That's unfortunate for Kononova there.
Yeah, that's the world champion having an absolute nightmare in her first visit to the range. Well, that's a chance of a gold on the line already for Kononova. Too much now to make up. Those 3 penalty loops required for the 3 misses.
What's happening here for Wilkie? We're not getting a complete read. Oh, is there a malfunction? Oh, no. Well, it's not really clear what's happened there, but she's certainly headed for the penalty loop.
Batinkova Baumann now. World champs, bronze medalist. See the struggle to get that breathing under control. And she's missed her final shot there, so that'll be a penalty loop for Batinkova Baumann. And the Ukrainians not having it all their own way, far from it here after that first visit to the range.
Only a handful of the competitors have been able to get 5 from 5. I think the wind really is a factor. You see it whistling across the bib there on the back of Lyashenko. One with the experience, though, not to let it trouble her. Let's see. There's a miss. Oh, and 2 misses. That could be enough to counter out.
Absolutely. And after the problems Kononova had with her first visit to the shooting range as well, this is now a wide open event.
China's 1, 2, 4 and 5 at the moment. It's early days. And a lot can change very quickly, as we know.
Well, there's something in the mountain air here on this first day of the Parabiathlon. There really is, after the success the Chinese have had already in the first 2 events. 3 medals, no less. A gold, silver and a bronze in the sitting events for the men and women. Well, just channel this momentum. Take it on, run with it. That's what the Chinese are doing with Li Huiling and Guo Yuji here.
Well, the standings change very quickly. I said 4 out of the top 5, but it changes in the blink of an eye, depending on who exits the range in what position. But we've still got Zhao and Guo top of the heap. So through goes Abe Yurika of Japan. Past the shadows starting to lengthen. It's coming up to only 12:30 in the afternoon. It is winter.
We had just 4 athletes shoot clear in that first visit. Faron, Young, Arovic and Wang Uruo. So this is a terrific leveller going into the second half of this race. 54 and 52 there, Dekajima, Momoko and Abe Yurika. The Japanese 1-2, Brittany Hudak, who had the one miss in her first visit. The 28-year-old Canadian Hudak, one of three from Canada in this race, along with Emily Young and Natalie Wilkie, who's had an absolute nightmare with that rifle malfunction, meaning she has to ski 5 penalty loops.
That's, well, that's a terrible dent in your confidence and, of course, your chances. Certain parts of the course, you can see the snow just whipping across the tracks. And it is breezy as in comes Guo Yuji. This important shoot coming up right here. She did miss one with the first stop. Skied quickly enough to keep herself in contention.
Well, Wang has produced another clear round. There have been 3 misses in the second visit to the range by Deni Arovic. That's a massive problem for her, having shot clean in the first visit. Guo goes clean again, absolutely superb. So that one miss in the first shoot, 0 in the second. She's given herself a fighting chance here. Guo Yuji, the 17-year-old from China.
And Zhao Jiqing.
Also one miss in the first range visit.
Even in the prone position, the wind can make an impact on the body and the weapon. Long hold of the breath. A serious altitude they're competing in here in Zhangjiakou. Much higher than they were used to at World Cup events. The air's thinner, the breeze a factor, and the snow, as we've mentioned throughout both sets of games, a little bit slower than they used to. Artificial snow, some like it, some don't. It's the way of things.
59, Yvette Faron. Now then, she's gone clear. Again, the 22-year-old. So no misses on her 2 visits to the range. Just keep it controlled now and find some endurance in the ski for the rest of this race. So Guo with just the one miss.
Emily Young now. Can she shoot clear? Oh, that's quick and accurate. Coaches will be happy with that.
They really will. That's 10 out of 10 for Emily Young. So away she goes, the 31-year-old. This is going to be a rip-roaring finish. It really is. Yvette Faron has gone clear from her 2 visits to the range. Emily Young has been the second to achieve that, and there indeed are only going to be 2 athletes who have shot 10 from 10.
Hudak missed one at the first stop. A hit target makes a rattling good sound as away she goes in pursuit of a teammate and the rest of the field.
Bronze medalist in the individual in Pyeongchang. 8th in this sprint event. She was outside of the medals in the cross-country as well. Of course, these athletes will double up in the cross-country races the deeper we get into these 2022 Winter Paralympic Games. This has all the makings of a cracking finish to this race. The women's sprint standing at Beijing 2022. Li Huiling from Guo, and then Yvette Faron, who's shot clear for Poland, currently in 3rd place.
Here is Guo, and this 3rd lap, the latter stages of the race, it's all about keeping your form, making sure good contact with the snow, keep that rhythm, and dig as deep as you can, leave nothing out there. tenths of seconds are everything. And getting plenty of encouragement from the coaches out on the course. I don't think the athletes need to be told anything, but the coaches like to earn their money.
So we've got 17-year-old Guo Yuji, currently top of the pile. 18-year-old Wang Ruo in third place at present.
Well, I say that coaches don't need to say anything. That's not true. They do, because they can say, OK, you're 10 seconds behind this athlete or 3 seconds in front of that one. And if they are across that information, that is vital to the athletes. But in terms of telling them to go as fast as they can, they're probably not necessary. They say it anyway. Button-Cover-Baumann had that one miss on the first stop.
That's got her back in the game. Clean sweep and the second visit to the range. The 38-year-old wearing bib 64. And, sort of run down her achievements down the years, but run out of time. 38 years of age. Yulia Button-Cover-Baumann. An extraordinary roll call of events.
We got a first competitor across the line, and Li Huiling, who went out first, finishes first. So she's at least kept her place in the order, but this is not about who's across the line first, of course. These interval starts, it's the fastest time, and she'll have to wait and see how her time of 20:54 holds up.
Yeah, and how much that one miss in the first visit to the shooting range will cost her. But 20:54 clubhouse leader Li Huiling from Guo. Konashuk wearing 58 comes rounds, also 9 out of 10 with the rifle. And then Faron, third place at present, with Li Huiling just dropped down into fourth. Another who went 9 from 10 with the gun.
Guo and Zhao looking good at the moment. Also Li yet to be fully displaced. We're going to have to wait. This is too good a race. It's anything could happen in the closing stages here. But 61 is Brittany Hudak, 8th in 2018. Well down on the leading time though through here.
Yeah, 45 seconds down with Button-Cover-Baumann. Something similar. Irina Bui and Alexandra Kononova as well.
Guo is going to be the new leader here.
Yeah.
By over a minute.
Fantastic from Guo Yuji. The Chinese, what a day they are having. Left everything out on the snow. Guo and Li will now wait to see if it's going to be another golden performance here in the women's sprint for the host nation.
So, yeah, you're number one at the moment. Teammate Li Huiling helping her off with the skis. Needs to clear the way. And they're getting excited for Wang Ruo, who comes in third position at the moment. A lot of skiers still out there.
Yeah, 2:27 down on Guo's timing. Big lead for Guo Yuji.
Oh, it's massive. I'm just looking down the list thinking who can catch it. Well, I don't like to predict too early, but this is looking very promising for Guo.
So Zhao now, another with just the one miss. 21.8 down on Guo's time, so it's China just leading the way. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Obviously plenty to come in, but Zhao slots up into second place, ruining the time of Li Huiling.
And get the skis off. Try and get themselves out of the way, but when exhaustion takes over, it's pretty hard to move. They don't leave any questions. Oh, Faron into third.
42.9. She just didn't have the pace, having the shot clean in those 2 visits to the range.
Yeah, 15th 4 years ago. It's a really significant improvement from her. Kind of shook out of the top 3, a minute 30 down on Guo's time.
Yeah, and the Ukrainians who dominated the World Champs event, nowhere. They've been pushed out by the sharp elbows of China. The host nation really smashing it here on day 1 of the Parabiathlon. 47.7 Young is at 4th place outside the medals. They're all finishing now.
Just outside. But Young shot clear, so did Ferron. Huge benefit. And Hudak into 5th, almost 50 seconds behind. So it's China, Poland at the moment. And we've still got 6 to finish. But the longer there is between finishes, the better it looks for Guo and Zhao for the 1-2, and perhaps Ferron as well. Guo's got it by 21 seconds at the moment. A further 21 seconds back to Ferron.
Yeah, Lyashenko, Batinkova, Baumann, Bui, Kononova still out on the track. And Wilkie, the 2 Japanese athletes as well. So that is Wilkie some way down. That we knew that she was spent after that maximum penalty after the first visit to the range and the malfunction of the rifle. 64, that's Yulia Batinkova Baumann. And then in behind her, Yurika Abe. 62 is Kononova. 66 there, Lyashenko.
Coming in, Batinkova Baumann. Force away into the medals here, maybe. Ooh. Yes.
She's done it. She's pushed Ferron out of the medal places.
So Batinkova Baumann into 3rd. Guo and Zhao still 1st and 2nd. Lyashenko of Ukraine into 2nd now and splits the 2 Chinese competitors. A big finish from Lyashenko, who was 3rd 4 years ago. Maybe one better today.
Well, it's 2 more medals for China, and it's another gold.
There's only one competitor still out there, that being Wilkie. So there won't be any change at the top. Lyashenko with a late say, force her way into a medal position. Goodness me, history being recorded at Zhangjiakou in a major way.
Well, Lyashenko upgrades her bronze from Pyeongchang 4 years ago. It was a terrific surge, straining every muscle and sinew there to get in ahead of Zhao Zhixing's time.
Lyashenko missed 1 extra target than Guo and Zhao, and she was only 8 seconds behind Guo, as you can see what might have been. There's no point dwelling on ifs and buts when the day is done, which it is now in this biathlon, the women's sprint standing. So 7 targets missed in all for Wilkie. She missed another 2 with the 2nd stop, but just a dreadful bit of luck with her first shoot. There'll be a story to be told, I'm sure, about what happened there.
Yeah, real shame for Natalie Wilkie, but she gets a finish here. All the talk, though, will be about China. A performance of champions today as Wilkie comes in over the line to round off the women's standing sprint race here on the first day of Parabiathlon at these Winter Paralympic Games, and China are absolutely smashing it out of the park. What they have 5. It's another gold medal. Guo Yuxi gets it. Zhao Zhixing wins the bronze. So, Guo, what a story. She hails from these parts, born in Zhangjiakou, just round the corner really. They held her up as a star of the future. She's only 17, and here she is with a gold medal in the Winter Paralympic Games. China have done it again. 2 more medals in the podium, split by Ukraine. What a day already, and still there's half the program to come.
If you build it, they will come. They've built this complex at Zhangjiakou, and China has responded to the opportunity with gold and bronze in the sprint, split by Lyushenko of Ukraine. A good field of 16, a truly international field, and we're starting to expect more of the same if we didn't before the day started. And it's making these fans pretty happy. As chilly and windy as it might be, their hearts have been warmed by the performances of Guo and Zhao in the women's standing sprint. Have an abbreviated acknowledgement ceremony shortly, and then more racing to come at Zhangjiakou. Men's sprint is the next race on the schedule. See whether or not they squeeze in the acknowledgement ceremony for the women. But here is the start list for the men. And again, a good presence of China. They've actually got 5 athletes in this one. 2 from the United States and Ukraine and Germany. And 1 each from Japan, France, Norway, Kazakhstan and the United States. So we've got a good field here, and looking forward to seeing Benjamin Davier of France dueling with Marc Arens of Canada, 2 of the favoured ones. More about that shortly. So we're going to get the men's race underway, and we'll have both recognition ceremonies following this one.
Yeah, this one will be really interesting. 16 in this race from 9 nations. And if we look back to Alpenzia 4 years ago, Davier, the Frenchman, he won it from Arens. The Ukrainian Riptiuk was 3rd in that one, and Vovchinsky, who goes out of the start gate second to last here, just ahead of Davier. He was the bronze medalist in the recent World Champs in Lillehammer. So again, the absence of Russian para-biathletes here leaves the field open. The big question is, at the age of 32, can Davier bring that A game again and get a gold medal at the Winter Paralympics in the sprint event? It was 7.5K in Pyeongchang 4 years ago, the sprint event, but the men and women running over the same distances now. It's all about standardization. First to go for China, Liu Xiaobin, the 21-year-old from Hengshui.
Looks like he means it. What a great pace to start. And next to go will be Drew Shea. From Montana. Lost his left hand 3 years ago. Only took up Nordic skiing in 2020. So rapid progress. And he's just loving this opportunity. His first World Cup event was only last year.
So 5 Chinese athletes in this race. They have their fair share of sprightly teenagers. At 25, Yuan Mingshu parties almost as a grizzled veteran. But he goes ahead of Wu. And we have Wu Gaokyun to go later as well for the host nation on an extraordinarily successful day already for Team China.
Li Taiyuan, 26-year-old from Yunnan province. There's 5 competitors lining up for China today, only one with Paralympic experience, and it doesn't seem to matter a jot.
Yep, and that one with Winter Paralympic experience will be next to go as well. Wu Zhenbao, who competed in cross-country and biathlon in Pyeongchang in this sprint event, raced over 7.5K. He was 8th, Wu, up in Alpenzia 4 years ago. That was his best performance across the cross-country and the biathlon events. The 25-year-old from Harbin, and competing at World Champs since 2017 in Finsterau in Germany. So racing there with Liu, he was first to go. And Drahun of Ukraine out of the start gate. Next to go, by the way, Ruslan Reiter, the 22-year-old from the United States. Understandably, we're racing with our Chinese athletes here. They were proving too hot to handle on the opening day of the Parabiathlon at Beijing 2022. You're watching the men's sprint standing event, raced over 6 kilometers, so 3 laps of this 2-kilometer circuit.
There is Ruslan Reiter heading off, and from the United States, adopted by a US family when he was very young, 22 years old, born in Ekaterinburg. Had 3 top 20s in biathlon. Back out onto the course, and Drew Shea. Athletes with 1 or no stock, they really have to work hard on the inside edge of the ski to get some purchase on the climbs, and so much consideration and science going into the waxing and preparation of skis for the snow conditions, the weather. Try and get it just right, get as much run on the flat and downhill sections, get as much purchase as possible climbing. Generally, biathlon skis, not too much grip wax needs to be thought about. It's all about the glide, but when you only got 1 or no stocks, then there's a different equation to be met.
So Yuan and then Li from China. We've seen Sato, Wu and Gerlitz out of the start gate. 2 Germans next up, Ayla and Maya. And we're seeing a variety of athletes start as our first starters past the 1 kilometer mark. So it's still Liu, the 21-year-old, head of the field from Li and Yuan. But naturally, the further we get down the order, the stronger the athlete, really. And expect the likes of Ulset from Norway, Arentz from Canada, Vovchinsky from Ukraine, and Davier, the defending Winter Paralympic champion, to really have some power in this race.
Here's Drahun from Ukraine, and he's a very young man, just 16. A couple of top 20s in biathlon and cross country last year. Started serious training when he was just 11. A boy against men, really. But here we are in the range with Liu. first time. Telltale flag's pretty busy, still quite windy. Having trouble just getting set. There's a lot of movement there. I think he's just spent so much energy out on the course, he's having trouble steadying the chest for the shoot. Looking better now. Having said that, he's giving up a lot of time here.
Then unable to slow that heart rate down sufficiently. Steadies himself with his second shot. He's found his groove.
Second miss.
Well, I'd have to take 2 penalty loops there, Liu. And I'm afraid that's very problematic for him. 2 misses in that first shoot. It's already a problem. And, well, has to go clear in the second, no question. Lee with a miss on his first shot and his third. It's in the range where these Chinese athletes in this men's standing sprint are coming unstuck. 2 misses for Lee.
It's a longer loop too for the standing athletes. It's 150 metres, not 100. Oh dear, 3 misses, 4. Oh goodness, that's 600 metres.
Yeah, Wu 4 misses, Liu with 2, Lee with 3.
Drones missed a couple. The wind seems to be messing with them. Yuan shot clear, so did Drew Shea. Oh, that hurts, even before it starts hurting. Righter. Well done. He studied aviation and they set out and do a bit of flying around the course right now.
Giving himself a chance, Ruslan Reiter, 16th in this sprint event in Pyeongchang. A miss for the Sato Keiichi at 42. He's the oldest in this race. Been competing at the Winter Paralympic Games since Vancouver 2010. So, first visit to the range. But what can our higher ranked athletes do? Davier, Ilset, Vovchinsky, Arens. This is the Kazakhstani Gerlitz now getting into the prone position, the 32-year-old. Just outside the medal in the long distance cross country, 4th place in Pyeongchang. In the sprint he was 7th 4 years ago. Good shooting. Gerlitz goes clean. Well played, sir.
In come Marco Meyer and Uslit, Ehler. So 2 Germans in the field skiing back to back. Meyer. Biathlon, the Germans traditionally very accurate shooters. And he doesn't let us down.
Yeah, really good visit to the range there for Meyer. At his first Winter Games here. Been at a couple of world champs. Ehler next in. Not so good with a rifle, though.
Oh, no. Just going to make an adjustment to the sights here. Not happy. What's happened? Costly. Oh, 4 misses, and telling the story there, he'd actually forgotten he hadn't loaded a round into the chamber before, after he'd adjusted the sights. So that's just a wretched minute spent, and many more seconds to be wasted in the penalty loop, unfortunately for him.
Yeah, respectability is the target now for Ehler, I'm afraid, after those 4 misses. By the way, Arendts with 1 miss. The 32-year-old Canadian who won the 15K 4 years ago in Pyeongchang. So Niels-Erik Ulset that comes in. Emotional appearance at these games for Ulset. He made his debut 2 decades ago in Salt Lake City. 1 miss.
Yeah, his 6th Paralympic Winter Games. A couple of cross-country gold medals in Salt Lake. A real stalwart around these events.
Yeah, wants to go out with a bang at his last games. Ulset, 4 targets hit, 1 missed. You look at those that have gone clear so far. Shea, Vovchinsky, the Ukrainian, Meyer. Now it's Davier. Quick and consistent. 4 from 5.
Oh,
and a miss.
One from the defending Paralympic champion. Oh,
that could be the difference, couldn't it? These fine margins. He has to go clear on his 2nd visit to the range, Davier.
Got such pedigree in biathlon in France. Can he do it the hard way with a miss? Gerlitz, Kazakhstan, went clear. So did Reiter and Yuan.
So this is where we start to see the end game. This is Yuan. And the first of 3 athletes now into the range for the 2nd time with Liu and Shea. Remember, Shea is the shot clear so far. So he could be maintaining his spot as the clubhouse leader, if you will. Liu with 2 misses on his first visit. And another miss, and that puts paid to his chances, I'm afraid.
And he took that really long period of time to get settled over the job in the first stop, so won't be his day. Well, there's improvement to come. When you're 21 competing in the first Paralympics, there's a big future to be had. It's off to the penalty loop, unfortunately for him. Korchinski in 85, and 84 is Mark Arendts. Ukraine and Canada, respectively. Korchinski is only putting himself in the frame here.
He really has, hasn't he? The world champs, the bronze medalist, but again, there's so much pedigree there. 3 medals in cross-country in Pyeongchang, a couple of silvers, and he won the individual as well in biathlon in Sochi back in 2014. Also a silver and a bronze from Vancouver.
Reiter with his first miss. That could make a big difference at the end. Wyszynski and Arends keeping each other company. Arends on the right there, trying to make a little bit of a move on this incline. That's often where it comes, and he's just moving past Wyszynski again. Wyszynski, though, did a good job to catch him at all, having started 30 seconds behind him. So it's still tracking along nicely for the Ukrainian.
Yeah, if all goes to plan in the second shoot, you're watching 2 medalists surely here in Arends and Wyszynski, Canada and Ukraine.
Arends, the silver medalist from 4 years ago. Looks elegant on the skis, doesn't he, Arends? Looks like he was made to do this. Strong climb. Wyszynski's not about to let him go. In they come. Gee, the next couple of minutes is going to tell a story with these two and the race overall.
Yeah, it really will. Arends with 1 miss and Wyszynski clear. There's the tuck to pick up some speed. So Yuan, Reiter, Sato, Lee, Tae-yun at present, but that top 4 is going to be exploded surely by Wyszynski and Arends. And Davier, remember, with that 1 miss from his first visit to the range. Ulset 2. Here's Arends.
Yeah, there's just a little pause there from Wyszynski. He wasn't ready, or the official wasn't ready. Maybe a second or 2 lost, but anyway, Arends into his work.
Second miss, gets it right on his last shot. Now then, up and away, Arends made his Winter Paris debut in 2010. He was there in Sochi, he was there in Pyeongchang. Here he is again.
Wyszynski got the lot. We didn't see that on screen, but we can tell you from our monitors that he got the 5. So Wyszynski looking very good. He's got the platform to bring it home. Ski for all he's worth the last couple of Ks.
Well, much talk in the absence of the Russians and the Belarusians here that it would be Ukraine's meeting here in Beijing at these Winter Paralympic Games. They could be on course for a first gold with Wyszynski. Arends will want to chase that down. 78, that's Sato of Japan, and then Maya, who's been clean as well, you know, in the 2 shoots so far, but his ski time a little down. 79 coming around the bend is Wu.
Yes, Marco Maya just a little slower up the hill than a couple of his rivals. So maybe that's where he's losing the seconds, but if he can shoot clear. Makes a big difference, and he's done that, Myers. He's 10 from 10.
Wyszynski, Maya, Shea and Yuan are only athletes in the field here to shoot clear after their 2 visits to the range. Now then, Davier comes in for his second 5 targets. Ulset 2. Ayler as well, but we know that he can be discounted after his 4 misses. Ulset has missed another. 78 and 82 there. Sato and Maya.
Going to have some athletes finishing fairly shortly. We'll have a time to beat, but Maya coming through here in very good shape. Tall man.
Yeah, Maya has raced into the lead. First appearance at the Winter Paralympic Games.
It's Gerlitz. Kazakhstani. Working hard. Missed a couple of targets though.
Well, Yuan has come over the line 18:01. And then Lee 18:45, 44.3 down. So Vovchinski is going to steam into the lead here. Looking good for Ukraine, bib 85. Vovchinski, next finisher is at Shea at 20:12, so third at present, but he's going to drop way down the order when we see the likes of Vovchinski and Maya coming in thereafter. 78, that's Sato.
So 18:01, the time to beat. Yuan, a nervous wait for the rest of the field to come through. But will it be more medals for China? Or perhaps one, Yuan. Washchinsky's going to have a say about it. Let's get an idea of how much wind is out on the course, rustling the clothing of the athletes, trying to keep out of the wind.
Looking good for Vovchinski, you have to say at this stage. The 33-year-old from Vinnytsia in Ukraine.
Gerlitz there in 80. And 85, Vovchinski just in front of him. Such a difficult journey and a long journey it was to get the Ukrainian athletes here. And a furious finish coming on the right there. 77 is Reiter. And 75 is Wu Junbao, getting a good cheer home from the crowd here. Jai-O, Jai-O is the chant. More oil. Go harder, higher, faster and hotter.
So Maya becomes our clubhouse leader with a time of 17:03. That's thrown it down to Vovchinski here.
It's pushed Yuan out of top spot. Maya, courtesy of shooting 10 out of 10. It's put Germany in a strong medal position here, but what colour is it to be?
So, Vovchinski, 85.
Oh, he's got it covered. He's going to come into top spot here easily.
Vovchinski for Ukraine over the line. Gold medal performance, if ever you saw one here. In control, quick on the snow, and clean in the shooting range as well. He's given it everything. Now all he can do is wait before he's able to celebrate. Arens chasing down the time. He's way down. 17 minutes plus here for Arens. So he's passed Maya's time.
Well, that 56 seconds, you can take out the 2 penalty loops. That's about what it would have taken him. He was very much in contention for the top spot, but might still hold on for third. Silver medalist 4 years ago. Perhaps it's bronze this time.
Well, this is the agony. You've done all you can do. Just have to wait.
Please stop war in Ukraine. Please.
Well, understandably and clearly, an emotional moment for Grigory Vovchinski. Here's the nice glide down into the home straight, which flattens out, so there's still some work to do. Get yourself across the line. And in comes Benjamin Davier, gold medalist from 4 years ago. Just not quite there today, but where can he finish? Might just run out of seconds here to force his way into the medals. It's going to be a close thing.
A minute away, 4 years on from that victory in Pyeongchang from the gold medal time in 2022. Oh, no medal this time round in the sprint for Benjamin Davier of France. So Ulset Naylor will be next to come in.
And
that is the limit right there.
They do know how to crash through the pain barrier and somehow pull themselves back and up again. Marco Meyer, the German, is pretty happy. He's looking good, 4-second.
Yeah, what a Winter Paralympic debut for Meyer, the 22-year-old. Superb performance. 45 seconds down on Vovchinski, but still absolutely magnificent.
Ulset comes in for Norway in 7th position, a couple of minutes down on Vovchinski. Likewise, has given it everything.
No fairy tale ending.
13 Paralympic medals he has.
Yeah, an extraordinary career. I wanted to go out with that fairy tale finish, but wasn't to be for Nils Erik Ulset, 20 years on from Salt Lake City, and that debut as an 18-year-old, and then Ayla, the last to come over the line for Germany, undone by his 7 misses in the shooting range.
Yes, that's the most number of targets missed, unfortunately, for Ayla in this field. 16. But down he'll come, and encouraged also by the vocal crowd at Zhangjiakou.
So Ayla last to finish, and that means that finally Vovchinski can celebrate a gold medal performance. 16-17, he was over 45 seconds better than Marco Meyer, the gold medalist in the 15K in Pyeongchang. Now is the Winter Paralympic champion in the sprint in Beijing. That was a near perfect display from Vovchinski.
Well, if you don't miss, you won't miss out. And Vovchinski, 10 from 10. Meyer likewise. Yuan of China also shot clear, as did Drew Shea. But you've also got to be quick across the snow, and Shea a little further down the standings, unfortunately. But the two at the top, Vovchinski and Meyer, no misses. Mark Arentz had 2. So there it is. Ukraine, Germany and Canada. Good spread for the medals in this one, the men's sprint.
And our champion from 4 years ago in Pyeongchang, 4th off the podium just this time, Davier of France.
And China not featuring in the top 3, but they were 5th and 6th and 8th, sorry, 9th and 10th. So another strong showing. Coming up soon at Zhangjiakou, we'll have our recognition ceremonies for the men's and women's sprint events for standing category.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Beijing 2020 Paralympic Winter Games medalists from the women's sprint standing.
Well, this is going to be a recognition ceremony for the top 3 finishers in the women's standing sprint event. Another fabulously successful race for the host nation, Guo and Zhao, winning the gold and bronze respectively. Ukraine's Lyashenko taking second place and therefore the silver medal. This was the event dominated by Ukraine, 1, 2, 3 and 4. That nation finished at the recent world champs, but here and now in the mountains of Zhangjiakou, it's all about the host nation, China.
Yes, a nice result for Lyudmila Lyashenko after third place 4 years ago, up into second. Zhao missed the one target to end up in third position. Lyashenko missed 2 and Guo 1. So none of the medalists were absolutely clear.
What a haul for China, by the way. And Lyudmila Lyashenko for the Ukraine. Bronze in Pyeongchang, silver here 4 years on. But for China, it's Guo Yuji. What a 24 hours after lifting and hoisting the flame for the host nation into the Bird's Nest Stadium at the opening ceremony. She has a gold medal in the women's sprint standing event here.
Well, outside tells you she's still coming to terms with what she's achieved today. Aren't we all? It's an astonishing, remarkable lift into world rankings for Chinese biathlon at the Paralympic Winter Games.
So Guo and Zhao, two of the 5 medalists for China on the opening day of Parabiathlon at Beijing 2022.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Beijing 2022 Paralympic Winter Games medalists for the men's sprint standing.
Well, some good stories here for the men's sprint standing recognition ceremony. A sweet moment for Ukraine, with Vovchinsky getting the job done, no misses, and the emergence of Marco Meyer, the 22-year-old from Oberstdorf, Germany, into second position, and Marc Arentz, who was a silver medalist 4 years ago, picking up another medal too. Those medals not delivered right now, as you'll know, but they will be.
Yeah, another medal for Arentz from Canada, 4 years on from his 15K title, a bronze in the sprint.
Well, getting a medal on debut, that's all right, and a silver it will be.
And the victor, Vovchinsky from Ukraine.
Well, you said it, it was the perfect race. No misses, skied beautifully, kept his composure, let the others do their race. He knew what he had to do, and he did it to perfection. And it will be the ultimate reward for him.
Yeah, reflected in that time gap at the end, 45 seconds ahead of Meyer. Vovchinsky
just squeezing back a couple of tears, I think.
Absolutely. Ukraine, Germany, and Canada 1, 2, and 3 in the men's standing sprint here in the Parabiathlon at Beijing 2022.
So lovely to see Marco Meyer put his arm around him. In appreciation and understanding, I think. More racing to come from Zhangjiakou. It's not far away. Hope you can stay with us.